All right, let's try this again. Good morning, good people. What's up? Going live on YouTube and live on Instagram at the same damn time. Let's make sure IG is set up. And we are live. Let's do it. Good morning, y'all. Oh, hold on. I thought I was live. Let me make sure I got this thing going. All right, cool. We are live here at Pittsburgh Yards. Just chatting with y'all, man. What's going on? Who we got in the building? Scarface the barber. No one similar to Norm. What's up? TDJ Mark. What's up, y'all? We're gonna talk about building clientele. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss what it takes to build. Y'all drop a question in the chat. Let's do a Q&A. Let's do some free game. I'm here live on Instagram, here live on YouTube. Drop your questions here. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna give some free game. We are here at Pittsburgh Yards. This is my second location right here on the Beltline. So yeah, y'all tune in, man. Y'all join the conversation. What's going on? My 360 camera keeps dropping on me, but that's all good. Y'all let me know where you checking in at. Where you at? You in Atlanta? I got a lot of followers in the DC area, DMV. Who we got here? FA_bio 6546. What's up? If you're joining me on Instagram, there's a slight delay, so I might not be able to catch your question right away. But either way, drop it and we're gonna have a conversation about it, all right? Bet. Let's bring this chat up. Cool, so yeah, we're here at Pittsburgh Yards. It's a beautiful morning. And yeah, I'm just talking about building clientele. You know, I'm blessed to be in a situation where here at Pittsburgh Yards, as a barber, there isn't a need for me to continue to grow my clientele. I'm here operating as the owner of the shop and helping my team grow. So my first location is in Grant Park. We've been there for 8 years now, won Best Barbershop in Atlanta, the same year that we actually did a price increase. So that shows that when it comes to building clientele, it's not always about the price point, all right? There's more things that you have to be able to resolve and solve for your clients. And that goes beyond the quality of the haircut, beyond the scope of like putting more and more on the haircut itself. So yeah, man, y'all drop your questions here. Let's have a conversation. Tell me what y'all got on your mind. I've been here in Atlanta for the last cutting as a barber for the last 15 years. And yeah, just excited to have this second location, man. This partnership has been in the works for the last 2 years. And so there's some dope things I have planned for the clientele of Ideal Barbers and for the barber community here in Atlanta, but also just around the Southeast area. But yeah, let's talk about building clientele, y'all. Let's talk about what it takes. Let's also discuss maybe some problems that you have building clientele. You know, it's different now that we're in 2026. It may not be the same thing that you was doing back in the day. Maybe back in 2020, you know, you built your clientele based off of just the urgency of people needing a haircut, but things have changed, right? So let's talk about what's changed, and y'all drop your questions so I can help you hopefully get to a different level within your barbering career. But yeah, if you're just joining the chat, let me know where you're at. Are you here in Atlanta? Are you in the Southeast? I have a barber that I coach. She's all the way in Guam, which is about 14 hours worth of a time difference. So yeah, no matter where you are, tap in. Let me know where you guys at. Who we got here? Got close ties. Okay, I think that's a Pittsburgh Yards. Some Pittsburgh Yards family in here. But yeah, let's talk about building clientele. So for me, what have I done? Let me give you some game about what I did to build my clientele. Number one is I focus on quality, right? I would say my first 4 years cutting, I oftentimes was the barber cutting with headphones on. And I know there's a lot of barbers that or a lot of mentors and barber coaches, barbershop owners that say that you shouldn't cut with headphones on. But for me, it wasn't about not talking to my clients. In fact, a lot of my clients didn't necessarily want to have like full long Q&A conversations while they're in the chair. And that's another quick gem for you real quick, is not every client needs you to entertain them with a whole bunch of conversations. Some people come to get a haircut and enjoy the peace and quiet of just getting groomed. A lot of men, especially black men, there's not a lot of spaces where we can sit down, relax, and feel comfortable enough just to be silent, close our eyes, and just get that grooming done. So for me, I specialized in locking in on them, and it didn't mean that I had to have a long conversation with them or even a fully detailed conversation. Now, sometimes people want that. Sometimes clients want you to like ask about how their day is going, ask them about their week. They want to get a chance to just let that stuff out. But what I found is that a lot of clients really want you to focus on providing an excellent service. And yeah, sometimes the conversation and barbers over talking can clash with providing a high quality service, especially for a client who's looking for a premium barber. Sometimes people want to have a relationship with you that's based on connection and conversation, but a lot of people just want to have a relationship that's based on you providing a high quality service. All right. So if you have any questions, guys, please jump in. See if I'm still, uh-oh, it's like I might not be in frame. But either way, all right, there we go. Back in frame now. Everything I was saying, hopefully you guys caught that, but I wasn't standing directly in the line of the camera. I'm back now. But if you have any questions, guys, or if you're gonna help me to troubleshoot, jump in now and let's do that. All right. So let's talk about building clientele. So there's 3 different things that people value, all right? And I'm gonna quickly go through this. See if I step over here, you can still see me. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so there's 3 different things. I'm gonna give y'all some free game. There's really 3 things that people value. Where's my chat? All right, no one similar to Norm said he's from New York. All right, bet. So when it comes to building clientele, I'm gonna draw a target, because really it's about locking in and really identifying your target client. Now, as a barber, of course that starts with the haircut, right? But that's just the surface level. So let me break that down visually, because this is how I like to learn, is through visuals. And if you have any trouble hearing me, or if you can't see me, drop it in the chat so I can, because we're live here, I can make adjustments and make sure you guys understand and lock in on what I'm talking about. All right, step over on this side. So let's draw a target. Big circle, right? And this target has 3 different parts to it. So this one is the outer layer. This one right here is the inner layer, and we'll call this the center, right? And this is about retention. Strictly about retaining your clients. See if this is backwards. All right, so a little bit of delay. Matter of fact, and now they are blowing. This is what happens when you go live. So now they're out here blowing leaves. So I'm gonna hold the mic. So retention. If you're trying to build clients, there's 3 different things people focus on. They may not be able to articulate it, but as a barber, oftentimes we get lost when we just focus on the first thing, which is right here. This outer layer, let's call this external. All right, external. The external layer of value, because this represents value. Right here, this target is value. For barbers, the external layer of value that people actually appreciate and pay for is the haircut. So this is haircut. All right, the external layer of value. Now, Mike, what does that mean? That means when somebody comes to your chair, when somebody's looking for a grooming service, they're looking for a new barber, oftentimes that's solely the quality of the haircut. But not everybody wants just a high quality haircut. So if you're a barber who only focuses on your quality, then you're missing a whole bunch of other people. Because for me, I'm willing to get a quality haircut, but I'm not willing to wait an hour and a half to get that haircut, right? So there's other things that people value. Now this is about retention, right? So the second layer of value the second thing that people value is internal. All right. And the internal layer of value, as again, they're using these blowers around me at the same time. So guys, give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. All right, bet you say you still can. Perfect. The internal layer of value represents what somebody feels or what frustrates them, right? So within here, the internal layer is about feelings and frustrations. So back to me as an example. If it's you, let's say this, no one similar to Norm. If you're a barber, hopefully you're a barber, right? So if I'm coming to you and I book an appointment with you, what frustrates me as a person isn't just the quality of the haircut, right? And I learned this from a book that I read years ago called Story Brand by Donald Miller, all right? This external layer is how great you cut hair. So you're in New York, let's say you're an excellent hair cutter, right? But for me, I might not care how great you are. Maybe a great haircut to me is secondary to you respecting my time. And I'm going to use that as an example. For me, I like my time being valued. Like right now, it's 10:30. My first client today is at 11:30. I have to be on time. That's a value for me. And for a lot of my clients, it's the same thing. So if you're a barber who only focuses on the external layer of value, right, just this surface level right here, you're probably missing a client like me. Even though I want a high quality groomed haircut, I also value time. So that's what frustrates me is, bro, if you're cutting my hair, but you're 45 minutes behind and you gave me no heads up, I'm looking for another barber. All right. So that's the second layer, is how people feel and what frustrates them. All right. So if you're taking notes, which I highly encourage you do because this is free game, the internal layer is how somebody feels. So of course, as a barber, you start off, you go to barber school, you focus on providing high quality. But as you get in the shop and you start building clientele and you focus on retaining people, because a client can get a haircut from anybody. But if you want to retain that person, you got to figure out what else makes them tick. What else makes them want to come back to you? What else makes them pass by 300 other barbershops on the way to come see you, right? And oftentimes, most of the time, that's not just how great the haircut is, all right? That also includes how they feel and what frustrates them. So if you're solving that problem, if you're a punctual barber, not only you're providing a great quality haircut, but you're solving another problem, which makes you even more hard to replace. Makes you a little bit harder to replace if you're solving two problems, all right? Let me check the chat. Make sure you guys are following me. All right, bet. And say you're a barber. Perfect. And I'm going to treat this like a one-on-one conversation since you're the one in the chat. So drop a question if you have any, if you're curious about exactly what I mean or it's not quite making sense. But this is how you retain people, all right? First layer is external. Second layer is internal, which is how somebody feels. And the last layer is social. All right, and I'm going to underline that one because if you're solving that problem for people, you're irreplaceable. Now, the social layer of value is what makes you you, right? You're in New York. Let me know, what do you do outside of barbering, right? For me, let me give you an example. How you doing? Good morning. So for me, hey, I appreciate it. I'll take the flowers. So if you're a barber and you're also, for me, I'm going to use me as an example. I'm a barber, of course. I'm a father of 3. I have 3 young children. My son is 9 and my twins are 6 years old. I'm also a golfer. So a beautiful day like today, I finish up my day around 3 p.m. I have my golf clubs in my trunk. I may try to get out to the driving range, right? So this is what makes me me. Of course, I'm a barber, and on social media, people know me as a barber first. But a part of my identity and what people can relate to is I'm a father, I'm a golfer, I'm a husband, right? Been married for 10 years. So this is also something that makes me valuable to a person. And I want you to understand what I'm saying here is that we believe oftentimes that clients only come because you're a barber, and that's not the full picture. The full picture is people come because, of course, you can cut hair great, so you're solving their external layer, right? This is just the surface level. This is pretty shallow if I can keep it plain. If you're only solving people's problems of needing a quality haircut, that's shallow because everybody can do that. Some people can go to Great Clips and get a $15 haircut. Some people can go to, let's say, Walmart, buy a $30 pair of clippers and cut their own hair. right? So just solving the problem of a haircut is just a commodity. What I mean by commodity is that multiple people can solve that problem. Multiple things can solve that problem. Hell, I mean, if I didn't want to pay at all for a haircut, I would just do it myself, right? So you need to be solving all problems, and this social layer is what makes you irreplaceable. So for you, what makes you you? Or do you play golf? Do you play basketball, right? What makes you an individual that stands out? Like the way I like to think about it, I can go back to my first shop. My first shop, I started there back in 2011. And I worked there for about 6 years or so, ended up managing the shop, becoming part owner. But my first couple years, I was really focused on standing out. But the problem was, it was hard to stand out because there were so many barbers that were dope in that shop. In that shop, there were 21 barbers at its peak. Yes, 20. I was one of 21 barbers, which is a lot. And the analogy I like to use and think about is McDonald's. Let's say that there's 21 McDonald's on the same block, right? What makes your Big Mac any different from mine? So that's what I'm talking about here is like, how do you stand out, right? Do you add color on every haircut? If so, then you're limiting yourself, but you're standing out. Do you solve multiple problems? Is somebody who's like, say, a busy executive, is his schedule being respected, right? Are you standing out because of how consistent you are, how punctual you are? And for me, socially, I'm standing out because I'm willing to share who I am as an individual, right? Not going crazy on social media and sharing all my business, but at the end of the day, I want to cut people who relate to me, right? I want to cut people who enjoy being in my chair and vice versa. I don't want to just cut people because they pay me money because I provide a quality haircut. All right. So what I'm saying is, if you're able to lock people in because of how good your haircut is, because this is where you start, you have to be able to provide a good haircut, but that's the bottom level. That's just the foundation, right? That's the bare minimum. After you solve that problem, next you need to be able to solve their internal problems, which is what frustrates them. How do they feel? Maybe people are frustrated because they have to travel so far to get their haircut. So instead of just only focusing on quality, you should think about, man, how can I make sure that everybody within a 1 mile radius is coming to me, that at least they know about me, right? Because for that person, they may not be willing to travel and pass multiple barbershops. They're looking for who's most convenient, right? They're frustrated because barbers aren't convenient. Some people don't like to book appointments. So you see what I'm saying here? There's multiple things that you can do to lock in and retain your clientele. All right, let me check the chat one more time. A husband and a gamer, and he travels at least once a year. Perfect. So for you to stand out and to lock people in from a social layer, you should be sharing that, bro. You should be posting gaming content as well, not just haircuts, but people should be able to relate to you who are also gamers. Like, imagine cutting somebody's hair and you're not only sharing, there's not only valuable because you give a quality haircut, you're also valuable because you guys play the same game. Maybe y'all play online. Maybe y'all stream together, right? So that's different things that make you more irreplaceable. It'll be harder to find somebody that they can relate to from a gamer perspective, and that gives them a quality haircut. But you should also find out from that person what frustrates them internally, right? That way, you're irreplaceable. Cool? All right, make sure I'm still live on IG. Yeah, we're still rocking live here. So if you're just tuning in, I'm breaking down client retention and what I've done over the years to build a clientele that's willing to follow me from location to location. And I have the privilege of not having to get new clients here at Pittsburgh Yards because of my attention to the details of retention. I like how that sounds. I'm able to have a new location here as a owner and not have to worry about building clientele because of my attention to retention. What that comes down to is solving 3 problems for all clients, not just one. Most barbers only solve one problem, which is a quality haircut. And that's just the surface level. Outside of that, the internal layer for people is what problems are you solving, right? How do they feel? What frustrates them outside of the quality of the haircut? If you solve that, now there's 2 things that make you harder to replace. And last but not least, I'm going to use you again as an example. If you are sharing who you are as a person, how you like to travel, how you're a gamer, new people who find you, who discover you, they now know that, dope, this is a dope barber who I can relate to. right? If somebody's not into gaming at all, that's something that they don't relate to you with. So they may not stick. They may like your quality haircut, but they don't necessarily love your personality, and that's fair. You know, we're not here to build friendships as a new barber, as any barber. The friendship that you're building with people is not the first thing. The first thing is providing quality haircut services. But if you want to go deeper and build relationships that last years, then it's important to solve multiple problems. All right. And I've been able to retain clients. I've been cutting for like 15 years, and they drive across the town to come get a haircut from me. Yes, because I can cut, but also there's things that we relate to, like their fathers as well as me. They support me because I'm a business owner trying to do good business. They support me because I solve their internal frustration of being punctual and not having punctual barbers. I respect their time. They respect my time. All right. So this is how you retain people. Most barbers only think about quality and buying new clippers and trying to go viral on the gram. That's the game that will have you losing and really repeating the same cycle every year of trying to build clientele. Really every holiday. If you have been in a situation where you're just busy on the holidays, that's the reason why. The reason why you're only busy on the holidays is because you only solve one layer of problem. You only provide a good haircut. But anybody can do that. Any barber can do a decent haircut, right? If you want to be busy across the year, every week, then you should be thinking about, man, what frustrates my client, and socially, what can I share that makes people relate to me? Okay? All right. So we are live here. Let's see if this is still working well. Bet. And somebody is calling me. What's up? Y'all see I'm live? All right. Maybe my wife is calling me because the connection wasn't good. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to try this again in a few minutes. And this is a test. So let me see if this worked out well. But yeah, guys, I'm excited that you're here with me. And yeah, no one similar. Bro, make sure you tap into my live series here on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed to me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm about investing into barbers who actually give a damn about improving the quality of this industry, right? Trying to make sure that we can build careers long term. And that starts with retaining clients. It's hard to build a career if every season, every week, you're constantly focused on just trying to get new clients in, right? Trying to rebuild your clientele. It's tough. You can't build a lifestyle off of that. Even if you go viral a couple times, that doesn't make a difference to somebody locally. You know, people who are going to pay your bills, who are going to support you, who value what you do, they do that because selfishly you help them become a better version of themselves. All right. So if you're going to be doing that, you got to focus on 3 different layers of value. All right, good people. This was a great talk. I'm going to sign back in probably a little bit later today to repeat this one. But yeah, glad I was able to help out, and tune in next time. All right, guys. Peace.